Okay, so let me go to log in. Courses. Okay, and at the bottom, go to content. Okay, wait. I should have gone the other place, but I went to this one. And if it will come up. So it was, wait, homework 2?
Yep, homework 2, question 2.
Question 2, okay. Question 2, here we go. Let me make it bigger. The little thing is still spinning. Okay, come on, come on, come on. What in the world is going on? Okay, well, let me try it again. God. I don't know if it's the network speed or I just. Come on. Oh, thank God. Something showed up. Okay, the stats answers page are updated periodically. I don't understand what that is. Okay, 3 forces are applied to a bracket. Okay, so we got 60, 90, and then this and this, and then some kind of determine the range of values and magnitudes of the resultant of 3 forces does not exceed, but that value must be given down there somewhere. Maybe. I'm just happy to get this. So I wonder if, let's see what this does. Standard view, let's do it a standard view. Is that what yours looks like?
Yeah.
Okay. And for some reason, I don't understand, it clips part of it off. Let me see if I can do this. Okay, hang on. All right, finally. Okay. So it says 3,800 and then, does not exceed 2450. 2450. So there's 2 ways you could do that. One is you could stack them. What I mean by stacking them is if I'm doing it on the board, so stacking them would be kind of like this. So you don't want, okay, so you do want to find the P, but you don't want it to be bigger than 2450. So if you think about it, hang on. This is definitely not scale. So if that's 3,000 and this is 800, so let's make it kind of like that. And one way to do it is to kind of find that. It'd be interesting to find that it's got to be less than, hopefully, it's going to be less than 2450. And then you're out here to the point where you can find a spot that's 2450. So one of the things you could do is do this geometrically. He doesn't actually give you a expression answer in ascending order in use. Oh, P min and P max. What? Determine the range of values for the magnitude of the source does not exceed. Oh, you know what that is? Okay. So let's say, okay, I get rid of that. Let's just say that this is one of them. So let's say, okay, this is 800. So I try to do it a little bit more to scale. That's 3,000. So I'm saying that's about 1,000. So this is about 800. So there might be one in which kind of goes up and it didn't quite land where I wanted it to, but it went to right here. And then this is 2450 in magnitude. Then if the P, okay, this is the P, right? Is that what he's calling this? P, calls this P. Then he says, okay, I can make P a little bit more and it'd be out to here. If it got out to there, then the distance from here to here is going to be a little bit less than 2450. And eventually, it's going to be 2450 again. Does that make sense? So I'm sorry. So in other words, you got this, you make P nothing, and hopefully it's going to be, you know, hopefully this thing is going to be a little larger than 2450. You make P a little, to this value, you got 2450. You make P a little larger, then this distance from here to here becomes less than 2450, and it's finally back to 2450. And then it becomes larger and larger as you go on. The question is, how do you go about that? There's a couple ways. Me just looking at it, first thing I would try to do is just kind of find the coordinate of that place, of this one. And then I could start drawing to the right of it, because he's making that go to the right. So if I added this thing and that thing together, I would get this location. So if I took this one would be, what is he, does he have designations? He has no designations for them at all. So I'll say that's F1, and I'll say this one is F2. So F1, here, let me look at something real quick. What did this stupid, okay, wait a minute. The equipment changes so much in here, it's hard to keep up. Golly, that's hard to see. So there's F1. F1 would be, it's going to be 3,000. And you know what I'm going to do? While this is happening, I'm going to bring up MATLAB. Because I think, for me, I'd like to make this as quick and simple as possible. So 3,000. Then I got a choice of what's 60 and 90. Then that 150. Cosine of 150 I plus, now I've kind of lost access to the picture.
hey, you know what? Hang on. Why is that? Okay, let's do this. Okay. Now I think I can do that. Yeah, there we go. And I'll come back to that in a minute. See, that even changed because I had it as a default last time. So somehow this whole computer got rechanged. I don't know how. So 90 and 60 is 150. So again, I'm projecting this over onto this direction. So I do cosine, that's the angle projection. The cosine 150 is going to make it negative. So I could either do cosine 150 or minus cosine 30. That makes sense. And then I'll just do sine of 150. And then I'll do F2. It's the 800. And I'm going to double check this. You know what? I'm going to move this down. F2 is equal to 800. I'll say, or I'm going to check this. F1 is equal to 3000 minus cosine of 30i plus sine of 30j. So these two should actually be the same. Okay, so you got 800, and now you got this one that sits over there, cosine 60i plus sine of 60j, and that'll give me those two. So I'm going to go to MATLAB, occupy that part of the screen, and get these two values to find that location right there. And then we'll work out into finding our values of P as it goes along. Am I making sense so far? Or kind of, maybe? Oop. So let me shrink this down. Okay. So my first one's, I've kind of designated that as F1. And so I'll just say F1 is equal to 3000 times, now this thing's real bright, it's in the way, 3000 times, in bracket, cosine degree of 150, and then a space, and sine degree of 150. Now, that's my numbers. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to check, just out of curiosity, this and this, and I should, and did I, these two should be the same, and they are, and that's kind of indication of, I used the mathematics part, went all the way across and just, I did not have a minus sign here. Then I recognized the angle between here and the line here was 30 degrees, minus cosine, and then the sine. So these two both are the same thing. So it's just a check. Then the cosine, the F2 is this one. F2 is equal to 800 times, okay, bracket, is that a times symbol? Yeah. Times, and that's a 60 degrees, cosine degree of 60 and sine degree of 60, and I get those two. Okay, so now I'll say F1, 2, how about that? Equals to F1 plus F2. And so now I get almost, not quite, but similar magnitude. Just one is shooting back to the left, one is going up. Now I'll do this, norm of F1 and 2. And I get 3148. So if I drew a line from here to here, I would get 3148. So what I'm saying is, okay, let me see if I can draw it here. I got a vector here, and then a vector kind of here-ish, so to speak, that puts me at this location. It is this vector right here. I add these two. This is F12, and F12 is equal to minus 21, 98.1 I plus 2192.8 J. Now I want to extend a vector off here directly to the right, and it's called P. P would just be some number times I, so that F1 and 2 plus P equals to this component, or the number minus 2198.1 I plus 2192.8 J. Key is, what is that number so that the norm of this, okay, so what is the number so that the norm of this is, I forgot the, 2450. So, if I were looking for the norm of this, it would be this number minus 2198.1 squared plus 2192.8 squared. Now, if I just, usually you take the square root, but if I did this, 2450 squared. So what does that become? It becomes a quadratic equation, or this is like a number and that's a number. This becomes that number. I guess I should use a variable now. I'll just keep using that. Squared minus 2 times 2198.1 times the number. So that times that, 2 of those, then minus that squared, or that times itself becomes 2198.1 squared plus 2192.8 squared, 2450 squared. And you could start using the quadratic formula where this and this are going to be the constants. That's going to be the linear, and that's not going to have a thing there. And you can actually solve it using the quadratic formula, which means you'll have two values. Or you could do this. I could just say this. Since I do have MATLAB, that's why MS. Well, let's just poke around. Let's say, we'll just call it the length P equal to 10, for example. Let's say P is equal to 10. And then F resultant is going to be equal to, or here, let's do this. P is equal to 10, and P, the value, let's do it this way. P is going to be equal to that, nothing. There's the vector pointing to the right. I'm just making up 10. And then I'll go back and change it. And then I'll say, what is the norm of F12 plus P? Well, it became, oh, the other one went off the screen. No, it didn't. So if you have a 0P, you get 31,048. That's the distance from here to here. If we move over to the right, guess what happens? It went from that to that. So now what I'll do is I'll start playing around by doing this. putting the norm of P in there. And instead of doing that, I'll just say 100 and 0. And what I'll do is just poke around. Now, if you want to, you can do this, I think. Let's try something really strange. What would happen if I took well, I was about to say, I could do let's do this. I guess if I'm going to do this, have y'all had MATLAB before? Okay, so we might as well play around with it. Let's see. I got to get back my other, how do I get back my other screen? There's my other screen. Well, I was going to start making a program, but.
So why did we not use the formula up there?
Oh, you can do that. I'm just saying, I'm just going to poke around at it.
On the value, what is it on the max?
Well, what it'll find both this point and that point. So it'll find there'll be root 1 and root 2. You'll get two values of P. One will be a little bit larger than the other.
So, I don't know if I'm speaking for everybody, but that's what I did. And when I inputted those roots after checking to make sure that that it made sense, trig-wise, the system would not accept the answers.
Oh, it wouldn't?
No.
Oh, okay. So let me try to find them.
Okay.
And then I don't know what happens if I try to put them in, but I'll try that in a second. You know what I'm going to do is, the best thing to do is the quadratic, but I'm gonna, if you don't mind, I mean, it'd be an opportunity for you to see a little bit of programming thing, but I think that way. I just, if I can see it and program on it. So here, let me do that. I am going to find, how do I get that thing back down? Is that it? No, here. I lost my upper thing, my window that has my editor in it. Okay, home. Oh, there it is. Oh, pin it. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to do a new script. So what I'll do is I'll do something really strange. This is something that's kind of beneficial when you get into, I'll go ahead and, so we'll do MATLAB for a second. There is a window which is, and see if I can find it. It's the setup view and how I can look at the history, although I can just look at the history this way. So I'll go back and take that, and I think I can just drop that in there. I think I can drop this one in there, right there. So there I have the definition of F of these two, and then what I'll do is look for the F12. There's when I add them together. So I'm going to add them together. Then I'm going to do something really strange. I'm going to do a for loop for I don't know. I'm just going to do 1 to 1,000. I think I'm doing that right. Or am I not? And, oh yeah, I got to do an and. Okay, then the other thing is I may have my syntax wrong there. I think I've still got my syntax wrong. Okay, so now I'm going to do length. I'll do LE is equal to, and I'll go back up. See if I can go find. I'm just going to take this, put it right there, but this time I'm going to put in I. And so I don't know how to save or what to call it. So let me let's see. Some of these things have changed a little bit. I'll put it in my own area, cause, this thing, it's not that I just don't trust it, you know? Statics 01, dot M, okay. So I'm just gonna run it here in a second. What the heck? They have changed a lot of this. Okay. Okay, there. Oh, I'm gonna change to the folder. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I need to kind of print it. Wait a minute. Get away. Go away. Here. Okay, now I'm gonna run it. You know what? It should print it over and over and over. What's going on here? LE. Oh, this stuff is still there. Okay. So there's my LE. So what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna do this. So I'm gonna do something really strange. And I'm gonna say X. See, I'm used to programming in a different language, so you'll have to bear with me. X is equal to I, and I don't want that to be printed out over and over. And then Y, so I is gonna be equal to LE. And then when I get all done, I'm just gonna do a plot of X and Y. So that way it won't just spit it out over and over. Oh shoot, never mind. It did spit it out over and over. But there's my plot anyway. What? Okay, I didn't go far enough. So here, let me just keep going. Let me get rid of that. And let's go to 10,000. It may actually, whoa, okay. It may actually take too long. Here. Did I take too long there? Here. Oh no. Maybe I got it stuck. Here. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't plot anything. Where didn't I type in the word plot? I don't know. Gosh. Okay, let me try that again. There we go. So obviously going up to maybe 4,000 is probably a better answer, better way to look at it. What happened to me? Okay, here. Clear. Try it again. There we go. So if you start, what did I start at? Did I start at 0? Anyway, I started close to 0. If you start close to 0, the length of this vector is out here. If you get larger and larger, it gets smaller to this minimum here. And then it starts getting larger again because you moved right on the other side of that point. So straight vertical, if you looked at it, it would be interesting because the minimum would be the value so that that line is straight vertical. In other words, the minimum would be like there, where that vector had, the vector from here to here, had no x component, meaning the length of the vector should be 2192. So if you come up to here, and the distance you would have to go over would have to be 2198.1, should get you a vector that would be 2192.8. So that's the lowest part. The shortest this vector can be is if it goes straight vertical from its origin to that location. The next thing is, he wanted it to be 2450. Let's just say 2450 is right here and right there. So the 24, so this would be the norm. I did make the norm the y, I think. Let me make sure. Yeah, the length or the norm, the length of the vector is the y. So let me get the thing back up. Okay, so the length of the vector is the y. So you get one vector here. Should be, and we can figure this out exactly in a minute. We'll figure it out in a second, and then we'll look at this one. And what we'll do to do this, I'm going to do something really strange. I'm going to take the length of that vector, and I'm going to subtract off the 2450 and do the plot. And you'll see why I do that in a second. So let's subtract off the length minus 2450. And let's run it again. And this time what you notice is it dropped below the axis. So in other words, the two spots that I'm interested in are right here and right here. That makes it convenient on the plot, because what I can do, if I still, they make you, they used to have a window up there. Let's see. I'm looking for, oh, there it is. Zoom in. So I'm going to try to just eyeball the first one. And so what I'm trying to do is trying to find the actual value by finding, just zooming in more and more and more till I've ridiculously got the first one go across, hit this, and go down. I'd say 1105.35. That'll be the one on the left. And the one on the right, now here I do tools, zoom out, and then tools, zoom in, and I'm looking for the one on the right now. Keep zooming in until I see some decimal spots down in there. And 3290.7, I don't know. 3290.7. I don't know. That looks like, well, now take that back. If you go over here, cross this and go down, I'm sorry, that maybe is an 8. So let's see what happens if I enter those two in the thing here. So what did I make sense what I was doing? Did it make sense? The geometry kind of, okay, so he says min and max, okay. Why can I not, okay, here we go. Good grief, I can't read it. 1105.35? And does he say?
36.85.
Oh, okay. So I can just stop there. But I'll try that. See what he does. See what he does if he, I'm not sure what he'll do. 3290. Now I don't have to enter units, I don't think.
Nope, new units are off to the side.
Oh, did I put it? What did I do there? Okay.
That's right.
Oh, okay. I was just making sure what happens now. Your answer term,
F over.
your answer is either rounded differently or used differently than is required for this part. Oh, yeah. So his 3 significance, he wanted me to round it up.
Okay, so my problem was very similar. The only difference was it wanted the resultant force to not exceed 2,300 newtons.
Oh,
I think instead of what you get 2,460.
Yeah, 2.4. I know it's 2.45. I think.
Okay, it's 2,300, and the P min and P max I got was 1220 and 3170. which is actually correct, because this is an exact problem out of the book. That's what the back of the book says, but when I enter those numbers in, it doesn't like it.
What does it tell you?
It says incorrect, try again. I'm at 7 attempts remaining because I've played with significant figures.
Okay, so what is your number again?
2300.
2300.
Yeah.
2300.
Correct.
Okay, so let me see. Okay, let me, I have trouble with this screen because the, okay. Okay, so yours was 23, wait, what'd you say, 2300? Just straight up 2300?
2300, straight up.
And you know what I'm gonna do? I know, what was the two answers you got?
1220 and 3170.
Okay, so I'm gonna say 1200 to 3170, so how about I go 32? And then I'll run it, and then it doesn't repopulate, oh, I gotta do a clear, sorry. Oh, you know what? Okay, unfortunately, well, it still might. I might get this little leg, that's a oddity, because I got a 0 point there, but just forget that that goes from there to there. And we'll zoom in and see if I can zoom in here and zoom in here and zoom in here and zoom in here. So I got 1504. Is that one of your answers?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll run through it again.
Let me ask you this. Did yours show, hang on, let me bring up the screen. Does yours show 3,800? Those are, okay, and the angles are the same, right?
Yep.
Okay.
The only thing that's changed is the result.
The result, okay, so what it's gotta be. Okay, so for that first one, I got around 1504. Now, if he's 3 significant digits, I don't know, he may want 1500. And then if I'd zoom out, and of course, I'm doing it kind of a weird way. I mean, I'm not solving the quadratic formula, just because I'd rather program any day over using a boxed method. And then if I keep zooming in and see the root here, it's around 2892. Yeah, about 2892. So I guess that would be 2,900 maybe.
What are you stuck on? Oh, that.
What's he, what now?
I did it somewhat differently.
Did you get it? Or,
Yes.
oh, okay.
But the way I did it is different than what is on the board.
Well, you know, that's the thing about there's several ways to do it. What was your approach? Or you can write on the board, because then you'll be on the lecture stream.
Oh, come on. Okay.
Oh, so what you do?
Okay, so. Okay, yes. Okay. You got that. So, okay, let me start from the part that,
Okay.
that we got this.
Do you want, here, I'm gonna, do you want a white? Do you want like
It's
white
fine,
board
it's
right
fine
there?
either way.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so the way I did this was after I got the whole P thing, I set up like this. P minus 1. Oops, screw that up. 0, 8
Oh, okay.
squared plus
Okay, and that's, yeah, so,
190. 22.82,
Squared.
and then I did this,
Oh, okay.
and then what was the one for this one?
2450.
2450 squared.
Yeah, that's,
And
yeah.
that's how I set it up at the
Okay.
beginning. Now how I did this, I just squared both of these. This is gonna stay p minus this squared,
Uh-huh.
and then this, both of these two are gonna square, and then you subtract this minus this,
Right,
and that's how you set up, which would end up.
okay.
Okay, I'm gonna need a calculator for this in a second. If you can get that, which would be p minus 2198.8 squared, and then we just put it like this.
Then whatever
Okay, I
those two,
need a calculator real quick.
yeah, whatever those two are, which I have no idea. Okay.
It's squared. Oops.
You saw that though, that's gonna come, it's upper limit, right? Cause that's gonna be less than,
Yeah, it'll,
so it's not gonna find the other value.
No,
I
you,
did that originally.
Okay, the way I'm gonna do it is that whatever value you get for that afterwards is gonna be for both left and right, and then this, you add it to both sides.
Yeah.
And that will give you your minimum and your maximum. You're gonna see in a second.
yeah. But you have to express that term out, so to speak.
Yes, okay. So from here, I got that. Oops, I forgot to add these. It's this. It's this. Which will become 4.
Oh, God.
And then you square it afterwards to get p minus 298.08, and then whatever you get from that is going to be the same for both sides, so it would be negative.
Yeah, and you're doing that because you're taking that off of there, because this could become negative or positive.
Yes, it's plus or minus here, whatever that is. Oops, run this up again. And then you just add this to both,
Yeah.
and that would be your minimum, maximum.
So did you get that? Did you get these two, me?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay, I got those two. I got I answered it correctly.
okay.
So I got it.
Yeah, and that's, when I saw this, I just immediately started thinking, okay, well, let's just plot this instead. And so that's why I did the quadratic. So, and since the guy being the computer is asking for 3 significant digits, that's what started making me think, I don't have to be that accurate.
I mean, yeah, since he'd ask you for, like, for example, to give, this is the answer that you get for this one. When
Yeah,
you add these two.
yeah.
You don't have to do this. You can just write like 1100.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, did it take 1100?
Yeah, it did take 1100.
Really?
For me, I got a different newtons here, so for me the answer was different.
Okay.
Mine was 2550, so I just rounded up like this, with 2 zeros at the end, and it still counted right.
Okay. But did it give you this little thing at the bottom?
Yeah.
So mine says,
I
da-da-da-da.
rounded it
Okay.
differently.
Yeah. So at least it's kind of forgiving a little bit. I kind of like the system, actually.
That's my phone. Oops. That's
Yeah, so you can pop the others to either side. 2198 and 1,000 is about like that, so yeah. So that and that is about that, which is what you got, and yeah. Cool.
Yeah, it makes it a lot less confusing. in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I was just, when I saw that, whenever I see a quadratic formula, I think there's a quadratic, and I start thinking, I'm gonna plot that.
Yeah,
Because I like to visually see it, you know. So, well, thank you.
No worries.
Anybody wants to get up and do that, you're welcome to do that. You know, just come up and I wish actually we had like a much larger board space so we could do that, but. Are you okay being in the stream? I mean, you're.
I'm good.
Oh, okay. I figured no one's gonna be looking at my videos anyway. There's umpteen trillion videos out there.
I mean, I do sometimes just to like compare ways to see what I can find to make it easier.
Yeah. And it's good in this stage and when you're poking around at it, to try it a couple different ways. And if you look at it and you're like, oh, okay, So, so we'll come back. Wait, today is Wednesday. We'll go ahead and meet Friday and we'll just, just go at it some more. And if there's more questions, we'll poke at those. And I'll send you an email tomorrow to adjust the way how I'm gonna put the two things together, so you just have one assignment every week, and that's it. Just can make it as less confusing as possible.
All right, see you Friday.
Okay.
I haven't had a chance to look at the rest of the homework yet, but
Uh-huh.
if I have any questions, do you have any office hours today?
Well, I've got to go to a funeral today, but
No?
wait, so when is it due?
Tonight.
Oh, if you have questions, I can move the thing back. So if you have questions, email me, and then what I'll do is if there's an issue, I can just make it due tomorrow night or something like that. How about that? Just let me
That would
know.
be great.
Just send me an email.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Good day.
You too. Oh, that is really weird. Hey, wonder what happened if I moved that down. So it's directly in the center. The closer you get it to the center, the more copies of it you get to see. So then you can see yourself multiple times. Look, there's me, and there's another me back there, but I can't see me back there.
Well, my wife would probably tell you one of me is more than enough.
That's a good one. All right, so we'll cut that stream off. Oh, wait, I just need to